and lift off.
And
Oh,
liftoff.
sorry, yes, okay, 3, 2, 1, lift off, yes. But they didn't hear the 3, 2, 1, but they
Right,
probably heard
right.
the lift off, yeah. Oh well, yes, behind the scenes, great fun we're having here. Joining me here is James Atloud. No, he's not a guest. He's here all the while, actually, twiddling knobs and counting down me
All the
as I come
while.
in, which is why I was doing the liftoff business. And yeah, so yeah, and he speaks from time to time. So welcome, James.
Oh, thank you, Mal. It's as always, it's really fun to be here. I enjoy the program a lot.
Yeah. Now there's actually somebody else here too, and that's me. I was only because of the liftoff. I reversed the order of the introductions here, but no, me is me. Me is Mal, one word, Burns. Yes, Mal Burns. But if you go to Twitter, they've squashed me. Oh, the mean sods. You'd think I was a bug. Maybe I'm a bug. Maybe that was the
Maybe
idea.
that's
Never
it.
mind.
A roach?
Yeah, they thought I was a bug, so they squashed me.
Yep.
Twitter.com/Malburns, Malburns, all one word. They've also squashed the name of our program too, because there's another Twitter feed which is just about online environments, really, social environments, and that is twitter.com/ you've guessed it, Metaworld News. Squashed, named after this show, of course. Anyway, the reason I mentioned all that as we take off, so to speak. Oh, there we go again. Take off.
Take off.
Right, I can tell you. Let's see what the theme of this week is going to be. Whoosh.
Whoosh.
I mean, I've
Vroom.
got a link.
Vroom.
I know I have got a link on screen to Vroom,
Okay. Okay.
but as far as I know, I haven't got a link to Whoosh, and I'm not going to be using Zoom. Anyway, anyway,
Right.
let's get on with it being serious, shall we?
Yes.
Anyway, yes, I've given you those links because I'm going to be reading through the highlights. And the highlights this week are for the week ending the 20th of September, which is the day we're recording this. So I'll be covering stuff from the last sort of 6 days or so since the last show. And James is broadcasting my desktop where appropriate too, so you can actually see the links I'm talking about. I will read out quite a lot of stuff as we go, but basically, if you can't get hold of a link or it's far too long for me to talk speak, then you know to go to Twitter and then click on the direct link you'll find there. Anyway, let's get on with it.
All
Let's
right.
get on with this and start looking at what has been new this week. Um, in some ways, what's new this week is a variation on what was new last week. The fuss about Facebook and their Oculus, or the Facebook, I don't know what it's called now. It's the most pertinent remark is that basically Facebook have killed desktop VR because they've got rid of everything and they've introduced this new Quest thing, which is completely standalone. And the idea that, for example, well, I'm averse to these helmets anyway, but the idea that I might be browsing something on the web or even in a virtual world on the web, and I want to switch to VR, is become all the more complex now because it won't be wired in. It won't be a system where I can just change from one to the other. And even to do so, if it was possible, would require me logging into Facebook, which is even more scary. So, yeah, the fuss has been going on. Basically, earlier in the week, uh, um, I forget which day was which now. I think it was Wednesday we had Tim Cook giving us some news from Apple, and then the next day we had the Zuckerberger talking about his the Facebook Connect, which are basically all their stuff. They did say augmented reality is coming, but it's at least a year away, and they did have a quite interesting topic with one of their developers showing why it wasn't possible to really bring augmented reality in very quickly, and it raised topics to do with the interfacing and the way you would be using your glasses, which basically reiterated the fact that augmented reality is not simply putting two screens in front of your eyes. The method of the way you interact is all important, and So the way those glasses, the interface that appears on the glasses and all the sensors and everything, there's a lot to be taken into account. So it was quite interesting. I also was listening to the Zuckerberg himself talking. I didn't realize I was because his voice on audio doesn't
Oh, right,
gel. It
right.
doesn't really gel with his appearance. It was very odd. I was listening and said, "This guy sounds a bit interesting. Who is he?" And then I took one look and oh.
Surprise.
Right. Yeah, our looks can be deceiving, or maybe voices can be. I don't know. I
Like
don't
radio
know.
DJs, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I quickly typed into YouTube chat actually that sort of this guy needs to do something about that bloody avatar. Because yeah, like I say, the voice really didn't click. Anyway, moving on. So that was this week in those sort of terms. I need to turn around 180 degrees now to get my bearings. I didn't know.
Mm, okay.
I've forgotten about that. Right. Okay. So I was starting off the first link I have up this week, which James will no doubt show you now,
Yep.
is the Ghost Howls. It's the one I start with every week, really. This is scarredghost.com, SKARREDGHOST .com, and the XR Wheat Peak. It's his weekly roundup, and he publishes it every Monday. So it's sort of it will be covering sort of tomorrow, presumably, a bit of overlap with what we will have on the show here today. Subsequently, this one, which appeared last Monday, is actually really a roundup of not the week gone by, but the week before. But it's always a good read to start the week or the week after, depending on how you look at it. Um, He's looking at a new powerful Vive focus, and that's good news because it has nothing to do with Facebook. He then says Facebook Connect is coming and more, and of course Facebook Connect was the thing we're hearing about midweek. Um, there's an XR2 5G reference design, the Vive Focus device, which is imminent. And we showed you the Facebook Connect logo last week. Um, Apple's teasing AR for its next event. And oh yes, it's invented the SR acronym, as if we needed another one.
Hmm.
I presume SR must be part of XR because it's VR and AR and MR and RR. I've two. No, well, however many of them there are really. SR, Apple's version, stands for simulated reality, which is a bit odd. I think it's probably their version of augmented reality rather than virtual reality, if you see what I mean, or sort of extended reality. Anyway, it's SR. Apple have to do it their own way, so they've come up
Of
with their own
course, right?
acronym. Yeah. Um, Cheap open source headset called Relativity. Other news worth a mention. Oculus again. Um, okay, I'll move on. You can get all this stuff by going to skullghost.com and having a good old read there. Um, uh, uh, there's various things mentioned there that are coming up anyway, so I'm not going to dwell on that one any longer. Let's put the thing away and notice how it doesn't go away.
I'm noticing that.
Right, okay. And now we're on another fun one. No proscenium.
Oh
Yes,
yeah. Yep.
you can see the title there, but I will give you the link. It's NOPROSCENIUM.com. And they again at the beginning of the week. I think it's Tuesday in that case. Have a 5 minute read, which is everything immersive this week from them. And noting it was a 4 day work week, the week before last, of course, in the States. And yeah, five reviews, a podcast, and what? Right, this is lovely. They've got a pop up there which is appearing blank and it's hiding the whole darn thing.
Hmm.
Oh dear, but this is the problem with being in a different browser from normal. Um, Basically, I'm projecting this from a Windows machine this week, as I normally do it from the Mac, and my browser in the Mac has very too many plugins for its own comfort, but they
Hmm.
do the trick of hiding things like that. um, can't do much about it here without configuring it. And we haven't got time to do that today. So anyway, a roundup at noproscenium.com with everything immersive for the week from them. Hopefully, we're not going to have that problem with too many other links here. Now, moving on to VR Scouts. This is VRSCOUT.com. Fairly easy, that one. Bobby Carlton, a regular writer there. Talking about Miranda. I don't go into games that much, but I rather like the sound of this. It's a live steampunk VR opera where you play as judge and jury.
Hmm.
That just sounds like a bit more interesting than well, the normal shoot 'em ups and what have you, or even the escape room stuff. Um, it's an interactive murder mystery, basically, which in movie terms would be right my cup of tea. So maybe this would be good for me too. What you actually need to view it, of course, is another matter. Um, Just scrolling down here. I'm sure you can go and check it out yourself if you need to, but I'm scrolling down just in the hope of finding, yeah, enhanced VR, Unity, Photon. These are the people that built it. Oh, you can get yours here.
Oh,
Right.
you clicking it?
Tick. Sorry?
Did you click the link?
No, no, I
Oh,
didn't. No,
okay, okay.
it goes to somewhere called ticketleap.com. I'm not going to go
Okay.
and do that.
All right. All right.
So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure which platform you actually view it in, but you've got to go and order tickets. But it sounds rather nifty, does it
Yeah.
not? Oh, go away. All the pop-ups I never normally see. There we go. Moving on, moving on. And we're at Engadget. This is engadget.com. And they've actually officially got the news. I wasn't sure whether we had this last week, and this is just late, but NVIDIA officially buying the chip company, Behemoth, as they say here, for 40 billion US dollars. Um, in the, I guess it's the Financial Times and the business press over here, there was a bit of sort of questioning of this. ARM, actually a British company, they're one of the biggest, most successful tech companies in the UK, and are based out of, I think, yeah, Cambridge. North of London, and the business people were questioning sort of, is this good for ARM and Cambridge, or is it a loss for Britain? It does sound like the ownership will move to Nvidia, so presumably after the suitable taxes are paid, the remaining profits will go to Nvidia. I'm not actually sure Nvidia is an American company. There may be another European company. So, but anyway, it's live today, basically. But very interesting, high-powered, team up there, basically. ARM are absolutely huge because of the processors they've made, semiconductors, and Nvidia are huge. I mean, anybody who's been into virtual worlds or played games and things like that probably knows that things just don't look as good until you've got an Nvidia. As opposed, I mean, there's plenty of other graphics cards, Radeons and things, but Nvidia tend to be ahead of the game. And indeed, only a couple of weeks ago announced their new series, which has got everybody wowed and sort of camping out overnight for a week outside the tech stores that sell them. So anyway, find out more about that at engadget.com. Right, putting that aside, actually, it's surprisingly easy using this. This browser is normally very slow, but I
Um,
guess it's slow to open. It's quite quick on closing. Right.
hmm.
Okay. This is arpost dot co, ARPOST dot co, not com, just co. And this is the site that if you get the homepage, you might find a rather some rather racy material, despite the fact they have very good tech news too. This one is somewhere between the two. Well, there's nothing racy about it, because I'm using racy as in the pornography sense rather than the fact that race, as in a black person, because black female filmmakers still don't have the same opportunities, says Tamara Shogalu. She's the founder of Ado Atto Pictures, and this basically is an interview with her. Oddly enough, and I haven't seen it yet, but I think I got a copy just the last week or two of her film, Anushka. Yeah, Anushka, that's how you
Hmm.
pronounce it, I think. Speaking about the hard truths of being a woman of color in tech. Now, of course, in these days of um, well, the Black Lives Matter and everything else that goes with it, these things come into focus. This is just really a straightforward interview that could have been, um, uh, well, published any old time, really, but makes it nonetheless pertinent for all that. So there's quite a lot to read there. There's the lady herself by the look of it. And yeah. Um, It's related certainly to extended reality, XR, sort of connects to VR and AR and everything else like that. So she is you know, um, a personality in our field, so to speak. So a relevant thing to read there, I think. So arpost.co for that one. Every site, as soon as I'm about to close it, they give me a pop up saying, "You can't possibly want to go away."
Mm-hmm.
Right, the immersive wire. Now, this is another regular one. This is www.virtualperceptions.com. So that's virtualperceptions.com. And they have this regular feature called the immersive wire. Another roundup, basically, from 9th of September, Thomas Fisk in midweek. Um, if I remember rightly, this comes. It may be one that comes as a newsletter, and then you click through and you get, see on the web. But I think you can. Yeah, well, virtualperceptions.com will get you there. They're talking about Venice VR Expanded. This is a online VR thing, Venice, a Venice festival and stuff. Part of the Venice Film Festival as it was, but of course this year it was all online. Not only was the festival online, but the vast majority of the films that they were actually looking at the festival were also virtual reality films. So the two, the virtual reality event and the virtual reality content sort of came together. The crisis prompted festivals to go online. A range of partners from HGC to Vroom, yeah, you remember them, provided the
Oh yeah.
capabilities to deliver the event in VR, and in the process, they helped deliver some excellent experiences. Um, uh, Right. Reminds me of an old debate. Why do animated movies have their own category? If an animated movie isn't a genre, it works with multiple genres all at once. I feel the same is happening in VR, though arguably it is so different to its 2D counterparts that it makes sense to judge them in different ways, etc., etc. So they go on, and as you can see, you've got lots of bullet points here, so they're giving you short bits of information about a whole load of stuff. And there's a link to an even fuller article if you really want it. Okay, so that is virtualperceptions.com for that one. Right. Click, click. Yes, there we are. We've gone away. Right, now this is interesting. This website is www dot, if you need it, osa-opn.org. This is the Optical Society. Now, if you don't know what optics are, they're to do with your eyes, basically. Your sight is. That's why they call the person that gives you your spectacles an optician, right? So that's what optics are. They have nothing to do with options. It's optics. Anyway, immersive VR insights. First visionary talk of the all virtual VO plus LS 2020 conference happened on Monday, 14th of September, and there's the lady who was doing it. It's just a long review of a talk she gave. Looking at immersive future, visual acid trip indeed, gamifying product design, accommodating. What the heck is amblyphobia? Well, it's always nice to have another phobia to investigate, isn't it? Right, so the Optical Society of Optics and Photonics, and the website here is osa-opn.org. Moving on, as one tends to do when one's finished. Okay, we're back to AR Post again, ARPOST dot co. This is about how expert VR, that's a sort of name in itself, expert VR, is changing the face of traditional research with virtual reality. They are a startup and they're specializing in augmented reality and virtual reality solutions for market research. Um, let's see. 360 video marketing, VR entertainment booths, training simulations, and now moving into research. Um, they use immersive solutions to simulate stores, retailers, and many other user experiences without having to build physical assets. Well, we know all that really. I mean, VR can be used for virtually everything you can imagine. I mean, it's just you've just got to think of it as, whether it's augmented reality or virtual reality or a Zoom call or whatever. It's the online equivalent of something you will be doing anyway. So whatever your job is, your profession, your trade, or whatever, within reason, it can be adapted to virtuality and to working and playing online. I mean, I've noticed since our lockdown finished, although I think it returns again tomorrow here in the UK, that the only people out and about seem to be incredibly noisy builders who wake me up in the morning and keep me awake at night. Um, I guess they kind of spread out along the building sites and socially distanced and just get on with all the noise, presumably construction as well. Um, that is, I must admit, you know, um, when I see that particular profession, well, or trade is probably the appropriate word, out and about again, and I think, well, it does figure that unlike the architect, those guys, on the building site probably cannot do their job online until we actually have robots that they can control online. And the only people that can afford that at the moment are people like the Air Force, sort of with pilots on the ground, literally controlling the drones. Um, you know, um, robots on building sites and things. So go a couple of decades away, I would think, and depend how long they
Yeah.
last too, and what kind of weights they could carry. It's all quite interesting.
Yeah.
Weight comes into it. So obviously, virtual world is not suited to every profession or even every person. Some people just, you know, freak out, as the old saying went,
Mhm.
at the moment they suddenly find themselves in a room on a screen with, hey, I'm in the spotlight and these are real people. Panic, panic, panic. Pull the
Mhm.
plug out quick. Anyway, moving on. Back to the link I have open. As I said, this is arpost.co, and all about using virtuality in the field of market research in particular. All right, so just stop. The moment I go to the close window, it seems to know. Right, here we are. Right now, Coin Telegraph, the future of money. I think from what we have at the top here, this site really specializes in bitcoins and ethereums and all that sort of stuff. Um, but this is very much our cup of tea, of course, because it's about Tidal backing VR universe, aiming to change the way we experience culture. Not coins, not money, culture. Yeah, so they're not all about virtual currencies, I guess. Tidal is a giant music streaming company, basically, and they basically are funding. Um, I guess it's called VR Universe. I think that's yeah, it's connected with Sensorium Galaxy as well, so it's there's a whole load of people here who sort of all seem to be entangled. It's almost like a new little conglomerate of people, moving in VR. Um, Collaboration gives Sensorium Galaxy fresh momentum as it goes live and strives to become a leader in entertainment and the social VR market. Um, and help deliver unique experiences to fans that are unparalleled elsewhere. You can see that half of this has been written as from a press release by the sound of it, but valid information nonetheless. So you'll find this at the cointelegraph.com. Well, not the cointelegraph.com. Cointelegraph.com. And I guess I think I bought this bookmark this on my other machine
Hmm.
because it looks like a good site to go to if I want to investigate things like Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff, which I know very little about these things, but I'm told you should get into it. Especially if you want to use Somnium space, it's best to have some Ethereum money. Anyway, moving on. Here we are. And guess what? It's time for
Vroom. All right.
vroom, vroom, vroom. Yeah.
Huzzah.
Like a bat out of the hell, I'll be gone when the morning gets never mind. Yep, the bat
Yeah,
out of the
that
hill.
works. That works.
You remember that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Vroom, like a bat out of the hell, I'll be gone when the morning. Never mind, never
Wow.
mind. Rabbit hole beckons
Quick though. That was a quick
a
dip
very
into
a
the rabbit
very
hole.
unmusical rabbit hole. Right, I don't know how to pronounce this. Pyare or something. The e over the accent over the e suggests that it's pronounced a. So I Pyara or Pyare, I think.
Hmm.
Anyway, they bring family therapy and Lovecraft to VR chat. VR chat, of course, is yes another virtual platform, social virtual world platform. It is mercifully one of the few of its generation that are not owned by Facebook, and they they're involved in a festival European Film Fantastic in Strasbourg, and Patterns is going to be freely accessible from September 12th, which means yeah, it's there to November 28th inside VR chat. Um, that's a screenshot. Let me see if I. Created by lead artist Payare, Patterns is a psychedelic horror experience recounting the resurgence of a repressed past. A VR experience inspired by H.P. Lovecraft and his true family story. So it's very much an experience online. I don't know. Well, as I say, it's mostly in VR chat, so it actually goes well beyond 360 video. But seems very interesting anyway. And VR chat is actually getting very big. I mean, I kind of approve. I didn't particularly like them at first because it looked a bit toyish to me. But there are actually builds in there that really, as good as anything you'd get in Science Space, Open Sim, High Fidelity, all the rest of the um, worlds. It's down to the people who make the things, basically. And the fact that they are independent of the fast book is good too. I don't know. I mean, I presume you can use VR chat in the Oculus or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
new name
Yeah.
for
Yep.
Oculus is.
Yep.
But you
A
can also
reduced
get it.
version. Right.
Yeah, but you can also get it elsewhere and stuff. So it's
Right.
not
Right.
tied to
Right.
old Zuki. Right. So did I give you? Yeah, oh yeah. No, I said it.
You said it. You sang it.
But
All right.
I haven't spelt it. It's actually V double R double O M. So VRROOM dot and then love it. Buzz. BUZZ. V double R double O M dot BU double Z. No intercoms or anything going on here. It's just the buzz, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Vroom, buzz. Vroom, buzz. Yeah. Okay. If you find that too complicated to work out, follow my tweet. Follow my Twitter feed.
Right.
Right. And another editorial one here. Actually, this is The website I've got up here is hackmdio, hackmd.io, and it's in there slash at XR section, but yeah, you'll find it anyway. I'm sure it's not the fullest of site. Um, they're looking back at fiction, basically, that those interested in spatial realities and well, you name it, virtual reality and stuff like that, cyberspace might be interesting. And William Gibson's Neuromancer here, cyberspace, a consensual hallucination experienced daily by billions of legitimate operators in every nation, by children being taught mathematical process, a graphic representation of data extracted from the banks of every computer in the human system. Unthinkable complexity with lines of light ranging the non-space of the mind, clusters and constellations of data like city lights receding. And that's just a little extract. Neuromancer, of course, is again, there it is, William Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly dated now. Neil Stephenson's Snow Crash is pretty dated too. The most recent of these will be able clients Ready Player One, and Ready Player Two is currently being written and on the books. Um, yeah, but anyway, they're looking. Who is building the open metaverse and why? Then moving on to building an open metaverse is a moral imperative. Um, and if you like charts, you can download that one and blow it up and find out everybody involved in VR, XR, AR, or whatever the potential metaverse.
Lots
Um,
of Oculus in
there
there.
we are. Yeah, good news. Metaverse is already here. We're just experiencing it in 2 days. The next hardware cycle is 3 to 5 years with 5G deployment. Lightweight spatial computing devices will take us from the dial-up age tethered headsets to an always connected, frictionless access to information around us. A physical virtual duality. There's a nice new name for me to play with. Virtual duality.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one half of the duality is virtual. I'm not sure that's quite right, but never mind. Anyway, want to read more about this? Just go to hack hackmd dot io, and yeah, one of these interesting articles that pops up from time to time, albeit with nothing much new in it. Right, did I just do something unfortunate?
I could not tell
Yes,
you.
I did. Yes, I closed two tabs at once.
Uh,
Right, there are actually two. I'm going to do them both at once here. Voices of VR podcast. This is Voices of VR, voicesof.com. And they have a few, but definitely two this week. 942 here, it covers the Facebook versus Apple XR battle. It's there is Facebook's decided it's upset with Apple basically, and Apple in response have decided they really don't like Zuckerberg either. So yeah, it's I don't know whether I got it here. It's a part one. I haven't got my little picture clips this week because they're on a different computer. But there was a quote from somebody this year about the start of the internet wars, basically. Although in my terminology, it's more like corporate wars. It just happen to be high tech corporate giants. Um,
yeah, I remember when the internet war was Microsoft versus Mozilla.
yes, I know. It's sort of, well, yeah. I mean, it's so easy to say. I mean, this one actually was a very serious one. I mean, Microsoft, internet war. I mean, it wasn't really a war. It was stiff competition, hard battling. But now, now you are getting, arguably even Apple, but certainly Facebook and stuff. I mean, world domination seems to be the name of the game, and um, there is another quote coming up here in a minute on another thing. I think they're saying, um, um, all Facebook want is data. They don't give a shit about you, kind of thing. Anyway, Kent Byatt, Voices of VR, has since all the controversy with Facebook and of course the Facebook Connect and stuff, he's talking here. He also actually covers the Apple event a bit, but they didn't actually have any XR you know, AR VR news there. It was just new iPads and yeah, the new pending iPhone. There was nothing on augmented reality at all, really. Anyway, there's always a good listen, Voices of VR. So, voicesofvr.com is what you want. And that, as I say, was 419. And if I can actually skip back here, um, yeah, here's the other one. This is 943. Again, Oculus Quest 2, as I guess it's called, although I think it's now Facebook Quest 2 or
Yeah,
maybe
it's
nothing.
it's still Oculus Quest 2.
Oh, they're keeping Oculus
Yep.
name. Okay, right.
Yep.
Anyway, impressions, and this is actually an interview with Ben Lang at Rhodes VR. So the two of them basically are in a discussion about the new um, Facebook helmet, for want of a better phrase. And again, you can get a full review, click through to. Uh, but the podcast is fairly long. The summary there isn't at all actually, but that sometimes happens. Right, okay, so let's put that one away and move back here. Right, just check my speakers are on this machine because
Oh, you're gonna play some sound.
exciting.
All right.
Yes. Now, hopefully, you're going to pick this up okay. This is a YouTube link. You'll find the link on my Twitter feed, so no problem there. The site is called Science Time. That's the YouTube publisher. And this film is called The Future of Virtual Reality After the Pandemic. And I think, just for a change, I'm going to take a wee bit of a liberty and play the whole effing thing.
Oh my.
It is 3.5 minutes, but you'll probably see why. James can interrupt me if there's any problem with the sound, but I think you'll be okay.
All right. Hold your head near the speaker. It's pretty quiet. I don't hear anything.
It is rather.
Oh, there's a nice virus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not really hearing it yet, Mal.
Okay, that's a shame. Maybe there's another way we can get it. Okay, I'm gonna pause that for now. There might be another way of getting it to you later when
Oh,
we get
okay. I'll see if I can
sorted a
find it.
bit. Um, well, if I launch it in VLC, I don't know whether I can from here, but um, yeah, it's well, it's oh no, we're on air. I don't want to read out the link. Yeah. Yeah, as I say, the science time is the people. Right, moving on here to strictly tech stuff again. Then I do have some other videos, so I hope we can find a way to sort this out a bit actually. Um, right, VA headset market is expected to grow despite short-term decline, according to the IDC press release, basically. This is businesswire.com, so BUSINESSWIRE.com. And well, it's a press release basically, but it's not press release, it's more of an information release summary thing. It's not particularly promoting anything. It's just data for those of you interested in that stuff. Moving on. Oh dear. Okay, this is a site called theconversation.com. So TheConversation.com. And let's see. Facebook, again, virtual reality push is about data, not gaming. And that was the one I was just about quoted a minute ago. This whole article is literally about what Facebook's end game here is, and it's nothing to do with gaming or social VR or anything else. Facebook itself is not about anything social. It's simply about stealing data from you, and it has to give you something to some kind of illusion for you to want to use it in return. Um, it doesn't really give you anything, is the idea here. They are getting enormous amounts of data. They're giving you little anecdotal things, and the vision they seem to have for virtuality is just scary as hell. I mean, you won't actually have much fun in Facebook's virtuality because you'll just be, everywhere you look there'll be another billboard ad, and you probably won't be able to walk to anywhere unless you read it and then say go away. Or so yeah, it's not in any sense a desirable future for VR. Um, I've been having. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole here because I think, although James is welcome to comment. I mean, I've been thinking about this in the week, and I actually thought I thought I sort of isolated it because, in a way, this refers to Microsoft, Apple, and all the other tech giants. There should be legislation, probably throughout the world. It's hard to imagine anybody, any. It's hard to imagine any legislation coming into effect now that would constrain these giants. They might get legislation in America that won't affect Europe, or there might be legislation in Europe that doesn't affect South Africa, or in Australia it doesn't affect Russia. They're all it's all a bit scattered. Um, but basically, the real problem here is that services and hardware have become extremely overlapped. I mean, Apple in a way started it quite innocently by bringing out, Apple computer back in the earliest of days ran its own software. So you bought the hardware and the software came on board. You buy a smart TV these days and it's very much the same sort of thing. They select what apps you can connect to and whatever. But it's a very different matter these days with things like Facebook and Microsoft and stuff. You remember when Microsoft 10 came out? They said, "Oh, we're not doing software anymore, operating systems anymore. It's all about services." Now, of course, to run the services, you have to have what remains of what's laughingly called an operating system. But basically, it's a package of services that is delivered to you, and it's called Windows 10, which is, not the same kind of operating system they had back in the day when Windows started. Um, Apple's connection to its hardware is pretty much the same as it's always been, but of course, in the days of tablets and stuff, that is kind of extended. Um, there are debates about that, even affecting Apple, which I think it was always I've always felt comfortable with the way they've managed it. I think that's why I've been an Apple user for basically. Um, um, I think I imagine, for example, that if this Facebook Connect and the Oculus generation and the new augmented reality glasses they're working on, if that hardware stuff was divorced from Facebook, there'll be a company out in there, maybe a separate company be marketing, developing, researching, marketing these devices, and companies like Facebook will be still around providing the services for those devices, um, but not necessarily tied to one. You want your services to be available on Windows, but also on Unix and Linux and the Mac OS and iOS. The best services like our newsfeed readers and stuff like that, they're available on every device, regardless of who the manufacturer is, and they adapt their interface to suit the device. Um, the fact that you now are in this position where if you want to go to Facebook's Horizons or venues, this time next year, the only way you're going to be able to do that is to go out and buy a standalone headset that doesn't connect to your Windows, it doesn't connect to your Mac, it doesn't connect to any other device. It would be you'll have to buy the headset just to get into virtual reality, or at least the main things. There'll still be other headsets around, hopefully lots of them and cheaper and more popular by then. But the that hardware and software or services, more to the point, interaction. It's basically Apple did it its way. And with Windows 10, Microsoft thought, oh, we'll get in on that act. It's the way to go. And then Facebook look at it, and especially with the VR stuff, they think, oh, yeah, we'll get in on that, but it's the way to go. So you're going to end up with lots of closed ecosystems and less ways to interoperate between the two of them. And that just is basically not what the web or online services were ever about. You're meant to be able to get them anywhere, anytime, on any device. And if there should be an international law, a United Nations decree that no company can manufacture hardware and software services at the same time. Anyway, frying pan, back into the fire, or the
Yeah,
rabbit
that
hole.
was the
Yes,
editorial section of the program. Yeah.
that was the rabbit hole section. Yes. Any thoughts, James?
Well, no, no thoughts. I won't go down that path. Except
You're not
I've
gonna.
ordered my Oculus Quest 2, and so
Well,
yeah,
I had a feeling you might.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a
I mean,
blast. It's a lot of fun.
it,
Yeah,
it is so tempting, and it's not particularly expensive. I just sort of feel a bit guilty about it. And anyway, it'd probably be like my Oculus Go. I've been in it twice since I bought it, and I guess it's enjoyable,
yeah.
but it's just a sweat to keep it charged and then pull it off the charger and put it on my head and then cope with headaches and
Right, right.
I
I've
don't
got
know.
that video ready to play. The future of virtual reality after the
Oh,
pandemic. Can you see our stream?
um, oh, good point. No, I can't. I'll have to rely on you to sort that
Okay.
out. I know the film anyway. It's 3.5 minutes. Yeah, let's take a break then. I will just return on my screen here to that movie. James is actually going to play it for us now. It's from YouTube, a subscriber called Science Time. And the title of the film is Future of Virtuality After the Pandemic. And it's actually dated the 9th of May this year. So it's not exactly new, but it is very pertinent, I think. So over to you, James. And you can just let me know when it's done.
All right, I'll give this a shot. This is a new workflow in our broadcast process, so I'll see how it goes.
While it remains true that the coronavirus global pandemic has hindered some, if not most, small and big businesses alike worldwide, after the pandemic is over, there may be a silver lining to all this, at least as far as virtual reality is concerned. May is a key word here, but if we take lessons from past historical events, for example from the most fatal pandemic in human recorded history, which was the Black Death that ravaged the Old World, peaking in Europe from 1347 to 1351, almost right after came the Renaissance, a golden age of discovery, art, philosophy, humanism, and yes, even technology, marking the transition from the Middle Ages to modernity. Today, it may seem a bit of a stretch to suggest great times await virtual reality, while the world is, quote, shut down and businesses are going under left and right, but think of all the producers, developers, software engineers, game designers, who have had the opportunity to take a break and reflect about the future. It's reasonable to assume creativity will skyrocket. Of course, many of these people work remotely and perhaps have had to work even harder during these foul times. Nonetheless, it's sensible to expect an improvement of virtual reality, not despite the pandemic, but because of it. Steam conducts a monthly survey to collect data about what kinds of computer hardware and software people are using. An analysis showed Half-Life Alyx had nearly 1 million additional monthly connected VR headsets. It's expected that in a self-isolated world, people will be using more and more of online services, but for virtual reality, 1 million VR headsets over the course of a month is a huge number, especially because these users came from a single source. Granted, Half-Life Alyx is one of the killer apps the virtual reality industry has been waiting for, these statistics are a good sign of the oncoming growth of VR. The global market value of virtual reality and gaming is expected to reach $48.2 billion by 2026. The market is driven by continuous development of current gaming technologies like 3D effects, motion detection, interactive graphics, and the increase of disposable income of people worldwide. Virtual reality headsets are quite expensive, but with an ever-growing industry, the cost is expected to go down, and VR will eventually become mainstream. Besides gaming, virtual reality will grow in other areas of entertainment as well, like the film industry. Right now, it's hard to predict when a fully immersive 3D interactive virtual reality movie will be released, but if we dare to speculate, a good pick would be one of the Avatar sequels. After all, James Cameron is known for technological innovation in cinema production. He also works with VR technology almost every day. So if it turns out that one of his upcoming Avatar movies will be released as a virtual experience, I, for once, cannot wait to see what it feels like to ride a Banshee. Thanks for
Okay.
watching. Did you like this video? Then show your support by subscribing,
Just about at the
ringing the
end.
bell, and enabling
Yeah,
notifications
I
to
am
never
actually
miss
looking at it,
videos
and
like
I have to
this.
say there's actually no sound. We're broadcasting the clip, but silently.
No, sound was going out. I heard it's
Oh, was
fine.
it?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, it didn't go out here. Anyway, I've actually fixed the sound on my screencast now too.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Okay, so there I am. Okay, let me put this away before I get totally confused. Feedback and everything else. Okay, okay. Well, I've now got the sound on the Windows machine here louder. I sort of boosted it
All right.
artificially, as it were.
Yep.
So I'll put that away for now because you've seen it. Okay, and yeah, here we are, the conversation.com with their piece on virtual realities. Facebook's push is about data, not gaming or social VR, really. Right, moving on. We're on VR Focus, vrfocus.com. And here we are. This is also about Tidal. We mentioned it earlier. Um, you can get front row access to their concerts using, yeah, you know, look at that. Yeah. Oculus Venues, which again is part of the Facebook empire. You basically got Horizon, which is that, I think, silly looking thing. And then you've got venues, which is more for, live concerts and stuff like that. Um, which is actually early access.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Um, if it's early access, that doesn't bode well for. I wouldn't have thought Tidal would be doing concerts in it. Well, it's still early access, but nevertheless, I don't know. Find more about that at vrfocus.com. And moving back on, we're on Forbes now, forbes.com. That's another easy one. Rather unpleasant title page here, of course. Um, that mouth, I hate to say it, it looks totally obscene.
Pick on the mouth.
This is
Yep. That's good.
yeah, this week in exile, Facebook throws down more TikTokery and Apple wearables, etc. Hickory dickory dogs, TikTok has run out of the clock. Although, of course, it's still today. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff going on, and by the end of today, Oracle might have somehow bought it and
Yeah. Yeah.
promised Trump it's going to be hosted in the US. I don't know, but it's crazy. There was another article I was reading earlier today. It might be in our list here about how daft and completely stupid this business all is, basically. Um, yeah. Anyway, so that's that. But of course, that's not everything. Um, Facebook's Connect conference, of course. Their explanation, interestingly enough, of what the augmented reality glasses will have to do. That was actually a great presentation by one of their developers. Um, reading in VR. Um, oh, love the adverts. Hey, they're going to have to pay me. Not only am I promoting their site, but
Yeah.
they're bloody giving my viewers adverts. Dear me. Sorry, folks. Naughty Forbes. Charlie Fink was the writer there, of course. Right. We are now on, this one is eu-startups.com. So it's actually got a www in front of it here, so you might need it. Not usually. www dot, no, sorry, www dot eu dash startups.com. So eu-startups.com. Written like it is there, really. Um, basically, plus the .com. Right. By 2025, XR-VR collaboration will be the new standard in working life, and this is Vardra CEO Timo Toikanen, I guess, and it's an interview with him. At Helsinki, that would be Sweden, isn't it? Where they're based. Um, right. It's not much I can say. I mean, it's an interview with somebody quite important there, and it covers actually a lot of ground. So if you're really interested in reading, interviews with the movers and shakers in these things, this is one to actually go for. Um, cover it, despite it's not incredibly long, but it doesn't cover quite a lot of stuff from what I remember. Right. So as I say, that's eu-startups.com. Right. Um, okay. Next VR. No, sorry. Next XR now. Next XR Technologies launch a virtual reality conference platform called NextR Seminar. Of course they do.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's they're announcing the launch. It's a Next XR seminar platform online, of course, delivered via a VR stream. Um, developed with a development agency called VRI Day, as in Friday. Um, God, the names people think of. And yeah, a link to a website here. It doesn't give any dates on this at all, on this particular item, but there is the link through too. So the site you want here is organics.org, auganix.org, and you can actually sort of see that for once. There are advantages to using this different screen. We can read everything easily. Right, moving on. Moving on. Right, no, the unusual site. This is a site called Zappar.com. www.zappar.com. Zappar. Again, you can see the word there. Why XR and performing arts are made for each other. And basically, it's looking at, well, I suppose, augmented reality, virtual reality, and the whole gamut, and in relation, of course, to performing arts. In other words, the lines between the stage in the real world and the stage online, for want of another way of putting it. So, yeah, read out about this is she's a composer. But it's a general article anyway, about a 5 minute read. They tell us there. Right, so I gave it, yeah, ZAPPAR.com. Now we have the graphics design CGI kind of big event SIGGRAPH um, announcements. Um, International AR VR conference and events. SIGGRAPH announces the best of immersive, goes behind experience with oh yeah, we're on there. God, sometimes it looks like you're giving you the wrong page. Right, here's the actual article, um, and yeah, they go. The conference kicked off. Well, it was last month, 17th to 28th of August. So they're a bit late on the reporting here, but best of show and all that sort of stuff. The site you want here is Virtuality Reporter. Um, this is all three words squashed into one, but no shortening. So VIRTUALITYREPORTER.com. Yes, indeed. So summary of SIGGRAPH there. What we got here? Roto VR, an expensive gimmick that can be quite fun. Okay, this site is called mspoweruser.com. So that's MS. I bet you that's Microsoft.
Yeah, my guess.
Short
All
for
right.
Microsoft. MSPOWERUSER. MS Powell. That would be quite a good name. Never mind. Um, right, rise of virtual reality, blah, blah, blah. One of the least accessible forms of gaming there's ever been. So what they're basically saying here is that VR is just not accessible, but it is quite fun. Uh, a not uncommon slant here. And you probably get it from me. When it comes to VR, the headset variant, it's I don't consider it really quite accessible yet. I want to be able to be by my computer and flap my hand in the air and have the screens come up in front of my eyes or something. It's just heavy equipment. The heavy lifting thing is not there yet. Anyway, there is this new headset, which is called the Roto VR, and they describe it as an equally expensive gimmick, and it's not surprising because where are we? Somewhere here. Oh yeah, 2,000 US dollars.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, they can't see a reason why you would want to buy it unless it's a device you need for accessibility reasons. Remember, that's the whole kit. You're buying a chair there and a headset and swivel, and I don't know, I don't know what. This is not exactly a long review of a product. It's very much summarising it. You probably have to construct it yourself from the look of it. I'm not going to play that video, really. Yeah, tutorial, building tutorial. So what, you spend £2,000 and you then have to build it yourself. Come on, come on. Okay, mspoweruser.com.
Hmm. I already
Yeah,
use my
okay.
office chair as in conjunction with VR, so it is convenient to turn around and not be standing the whole time. But
Yeah, yeah. I must admit, when I first played with the Go, I was sitting in, well, it's not a recliner, just lounging around in my lounging area, but pretty much horizontal. And I could sit up into a sitting position, but you could only stretch your neck a bit that way and a bit that
mm-hmm.
way. So
Mm-hmm.
my swivel chair over here is actually gives me a lot more freedom. But of course, it's not linked to if I'm in Alt Space VR on on the desktop here, I can't immediately shift
Yeah. Yep.
into Alt Space VR in the Go. It's different. You've got to log in again with well, same name, but you can't. Yeah, they just don't. You can't flip it between the two.
Yep.
Okay, getting to the end of the main stuff here. We're on a site called hackermoon.com. That's HACKERNOON. So sorry, Hacker Noon. That is not moon. I got that wrong. Social VR, a new way of communicating. It's all old hat, really, isn't it? When
Yep.
you hear these things, and yeah, we know that, blah blah blah, and of course they have to mention the Zucky Burgers, but Ulkspace, the RB Screen Rec Room V Time, they're looking at a little roundup of a whole load of stuff. This is the kind of link you might want to send to somebody who hasn't been in VR or in social virtual worlds who you want to see if you can get them interested. It might be this sort of the link that you'd actually want to send to them. So, as I say, hackernoon.com, two words squashed to one there. Hacker, there it is, Hacker Noon. Okay. And, oh, yeah, this is, we've had this lady before. I guess who does it, updates it once or twice a month. Suzanne showcasing VR.com. Oh, this is going to be fun. SUZANESHOWCASINGVR.com. And she does this. It's dated September the 1st, but that actually isn't quite right. She published it then, but then during the course of the month, she actually updates it with new stuff. So it's basically a what's on for VR events, and she basically tweets when she's added stuff into it. So it's a revision of the original post. As you can see, there's quite a few things she's got listed there. Probably not that comprehensive, but always a good thing to have around. And it's not one particular platform. It's sort of you know, across the thing, showcasing virtuality. Okay, so that was the last of the oopsie daisy. Right, okay. Next I'm going to oh, that's not helpful. I actually tweeted on Metaworld News today that if anybody was in Sansar, they could come to Loud Lab 1 in
Oh,
45 minutes, but nobody's read it, I'm sure.
haven't seen anybody.
Right,
No.
okay. Um, let's get going here. Basically, we're now moved to twitter.com/metaworldnews, or one word there, squashed into one, where we have a few other things to do with social virtual worlds and the likes of OpenSim, for example. We have a post from Hypergrid Business. OpenSim land area up as the metaverse expands. Published September 17th here. Now, despite the time, this is something I've I've mentioned it to Maria. I have, but I think it goes in one ear and out the other. Um, you'd think that is an interesting post, and indeed it is. David Koricki wrote this, in fact, but that's not all there is to it. This is actually about 20, but it's like 20 posts all coming up at once with that as the headline. So, if you're not particularly interested in those statistics, you might not bother, going to the grid here. But as you go down, you'll see they've got grids by active users, which is more information. They've got a post on the Kitely market, tag grid marketplace, and then new updates for data and viewer for OpenSim. Um, that's interesting in its own right, but it's not a separate blog post basically, so I can't just post it as a separate news item. You've got to come here and go through everything. Improvement to voice audio mesh uploads and more on Windows 10, but drops support for Windows 7. Um, anyway, and it's on. I've got it on the Mac here too, so that probably needs upgrading if I ever want it. Getting free parcels on the XMIR grid. The Oktoberfest is kicking off in the Littlefield grid. Dance to music and attend performances on Littlefield. That's pretty much the same thing. You can rent land for 2 months to get a free month at Tranquility. So that's Tranquility Grid is, I guess, 3 months for the price of two, basically. Um, Fire and Ice Grid are having an abstract art competition. I may have actually posted a separate blog on that somewhere. Um, Free lots and freebies on Tangle Grid. Nara's Nuke is serving up educational projects in OpenSim. A lot happening here, and it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
easy to not,
Now,
because.
the left edge of the screen is being cut off. We're not seeing the full titles.
Oh, that's a bit weird. Okay. Any better?
Mm, not yet.
You said the left edge?
Yeah, so I see you have on screen, I think it's Worlds, and I just see RLDS, Worlds.
Um,
Oh, never mind. If
sorry.
it's not obvious to you, all right.
Let me have a look in World here, see what's showing up. Oh, yeah. What's on the screen in World here looks fine. So that's very odd.
Okay.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, very odd. I don't know what's happening there.
Okay.
Okay, well, anyway, I mean, that logo on Hypergrid Business really touches the left-hand edge of the page. Their style sheet is really doesn't. They don't know what an indent is, I don't think.
Hmm.
Um, anyway, following grids, new grids on their database, more top grids by land. Yeah. So basically, you want to go to www.hypergridbusiness.com. So it's HYPERGRIDBUSINESS. And just click on the latest one, which is, of course, I'm getting up here again, OpenSim Land Area Up as Metaverse expands. And as I say, that you saw from me scrolling down there, there's quite a lot of other stuff there that is useful to read too. Um, right now, back in the day, those of people who started off in Second Life when Second Life was about all the wars, really, may remember a member of the Linden team who's was known as Babbage Linden, as in the old Babbage engine. His real name is Jim Perbrick, and he moved on, believe it or not, into a fairly senior post at, dare I say it, the Zuckerberg empire, namely Facebook. But he has now left. Wonder why that might be. Basically he was driving their virtual reality aspirations and stuff like that. But he's now started writing some interesting essays about his past experience with virtual worlds and things on his blog, and it's the address of his blog is jimpurbrick.com. So that's JIMPURBRICK.com. And the name of the blog, although you wouldn't know it, is actually called The Creation Engine Number Two. Yeah, there we are. And yeah, it's very much him writing. He talks about Richard Bartle here, who's the creator of the original Mud things, which predated what we now know as virtual worlds. It was back in 1977, so I mean, come figure. They text-based virtual worlds. Actually, he is fond of saying that he prefers text-based virtual worlds because the graphics are better. Right, but he actually points out that a good book can conjure up vivid images in the mind, and text can conjure up images of worlds which would be hard, if so impossible, to render with triangles. So a bit like reading a novel, to be honest. You know, Dune or something, you know, it conjures up a whole world in your mind, exotic, fascinating, everything else, and then somebody makes a movie, and then another movie, and now another movie. The third Dune is due, and invariably they're all let down because they don't match that vision you had when you read the text. Anyway, so they mentioned that a bit. And he talks about being in Eve Online, that would be, and Rare. I don't even know Rare, to be honest. Um, and then looking back, this was a challenge facing Linden Lab at the start when they were building the avatars for Second Life. Default avatars could be manipulated into a variety of shapes and sizes using the available parameters, but the results were often crude, and the available wardrobe never strayed far from the geeky teen hangout chick. Luckily for Linden Lab, the inability of the avatar system to satisfy every whim was actually a huge opportunity for the entrepreneurs inside Second Life, where builders took off by realizing that they could do stuff, and then of course the market takes off and everything else. Um, General Life, in Second Life in general, accepted this riot of self-expression with open arms. And then he mentions the IBM. Oh yeah, the IBM held a big company conference in there for a hands-on talk by their CEO, and almost all the IBM employees turned up as anything but human.
Hmm.
And apparently they loved it. You know, IBM were always very adaptable about, you know, there was no dress code for their employees, put it that way. Anyway, no, it's just interesting reflections here, and I hope there's going to be more from Jim Perbrick. So jimperbrick.com is his web address there. Right. Now we are broadcasting for you right now in Sansar, and Sansar to host Kappa and Cyberdog fashion show during London Fashion Week. Now, let me see. We Sunday, September 20th. We are, aren't we? This article is at vrfocus.com, so vrfocus.com, and yeah, Fabric of Reality fashion show happened in July. Next month, that'd be October, the Circular Fashion Summit will happen. Um, Fashion label Cyborg and Italian sorry, sports brand Kappa will be holding a catwalk event inside Sansar as part of London Fashion Week, beginning this Sunday. Oh right, oh God, right, okay, that's today. And I don't know whether there was something going on when I logged in before the show, but I think no, that was more of a ravey kind of thing. Um, There's the sensor. Oh, right. Okay. To actually participate in this, you actually do need to follow the sign up link here, and you get a ticket. The tickets are free, and British time it starts at 7:30 and goes on till 10 p.m. So it has already started about an hour ago, but it'll be going on to 10 right here in Sansar where we are now. But remember, go to vrfocus.com here and follow that link sorry, to sign up so you'll be on the access list, as it were. There are a lot of events here in Sansar that aren't always very obvious. In fact, they may not even be listed on the events page because they do require you, they advertise them elsewhere. You go and you get a ticket, and then when you've got a ticket, it gives you the right address to come to when you get into Sansar. But it's not on the front page for the public to find. So I've come across a lot of events in Sansar. I think, where the hell is this? I've looked in, I can't find it anywhere. And of course, all I'm seeing are the public places with a few avatars here and there. The private events are not showing up to the general user. So, anyway, more about that. Fashion stuff right here, right now, tonight in Sansar, because those are British times, of course. Um, right. Let's see. Rec room support. Um, um, okay. As I said, there were quite a lot of videos that went up in the Metaworld News department. Um, just hang on, one further text link at uploadvr.com. This is about another online platform called Rec Room. They are now have Xbox supports. Xbox is the sort of
Hmm.
console gaming thing from Microsoft, so you can get to Rec Room there. Their terrain editor and vehicles have been confirmed ahead of Facebook Connect because, of course, you can get to it in the Facebook machine as well. But also you can use Xbox, which is Microsoft's kind of platform there. Uh, Upload VR for that post, uploadvr.com. So I probably put it away. I'll put Sensor away too. Um, Leave that page open for now. So, um, couple of things here. This is YouTube, and it's about Frame, which is it's not quite like Mozilla Hubs, but it's something you can build on the web. Simple
Hey
stuff.
everyone, so
Oh.
in this video we are going to be talking about single user versus multi-user mode. So this is an admin setting in your frame that you can find in the Frames tab of the sidebar. It's a button here. It says switch to single user, and if you have it set to single user, it will say switch to multi-user. So what are these modes? Well, by default, frames are multi-user, which is how multiple people can be in them at once. Like right now, I'm in here with another user called Gabe's friend. That's actually just me in another browser tab. But here I am, and we have voice chat, we have text chat, we have avatars that move around, and we can see each other and interact. So that is multi-user mode. But you can also switch to single user mode. So if you want your frame just to be a place that people can explore on their own without seeing other people, without hearing other people, and without seeing the text chat, you can turn it to single user mode. Now, if you turn this to single user mode while people are inside of it, it will refresh for them and it will refresh for you. So if you click it, it'll say, "Are you sure you want to do this?" This will refresh.
Okay, well I think you get the idea of that. If you want the rest of it, it's not that it's only 2.5 minutes, but you want Virbela Media, which is on YouTube, so you can see it there. VIRBELA space media. That's the account that has this. As I said, Frame IO is um, yeah, a set of protocols, a bit like the ones Mozilla use for Mozilla Hubs, but it is different, and Mozilla Hubs in particular is very very popular. So I'm going to put that one away. Um, because we do have other ones here. We have a preview world of a world called Supernova. This is a poster. This actually isn't at YouTube. It's at the other popular site Vimeo, and the username here DENVERDIGERATI um, at Vimeo. And at this point, this is all moody and weird. Oh, there we are. So I've just gone full screen for you. No, there's something very spooky about this. They all look like ET or something, except they've got cute little 1980s underpants on. What, what is this? I ask. But and the music is kind of haunting a bit too, isn't it? And then they got another game playing on the big screen. Anyway, enough of that. Actually, having seen it, you've really seen everything there is to see. So as I say, they've got that one on Vimeo. Again, go to Metaworld News' feed on Twitter, and you'll find the direct links to all this. So that I'm not going to read out vimeo.com/20,000 numbers. Right. And VR chat. Yes, again. This is a YouTube clip. I guess a fan really. VR chat is magical. Brackets a video essay midweek. The user here is somebody called STRASZFILMS Straz Films.
Can you turn it up at all, Mel?
Good point. I think it's had it there and it's had it up. This is really a faint one.
Nice pictures though.
Mm. Leaning towards the speakers. Okay, I'm leaning forward with my microphone up against the speakers. It's straining me.
Yeah,
This is
just
a
not
very
getting
long
it.
film, actually. It's just over 45 minutes. So, and it's called Chapter 2, so there may be a lot more to this. So, let's just put that on pause. Basically, Strauss Films, it looks like they could use a few more subscribers. They only got 53. Although it's got 79 likes. And well, actually, the clip, however, is new. It's 14th of September, which is literally only a couple of days ago. So it's, one man story, basically, looking back. And I find those things are very interesting. VR. Uh, he's obviously covering a lot more than VR chat. I guess he ends up in VR chat as the ultimate magic place for him. Um, right, what else have I got aside here? No, that was September 13th. That was last week. Okay, so we're all done now. All I need to do now is pull up Slack in the sidebar. This is working rather well on this other machine. Simply can't see it. Friday, 18th of September. Oh, that's yesterday, Thursday. Oh, right. Right, I've got various things in Slack here, which are basically other video links that I've saved because I think they are of interest. They're filed under of interest. Um, so Thursday, 15th. What did I say today was? 20th. Yeah, okay, let's start on
Still the 20th. Yep.
let's start on Monday. Um, okay, the future of Rec Room. Um, big announcements, as it says.
here today to talk about Rec Room, the best place to build and play games with your friends. In Rec Room, you can party up with people from all around the world to chat, to hang out, to explore millions of player-created rooms, or to create something new and amazing that you're going to
Okay,
share with
this
the
is
world.
in the Rec
Here
Room
with my buddy
account,
Harry, and we're
REC
going to take
space
you on a
R
tour
O
of
O
some of the
M.
crazy and amazing stuff you can
Premiered
find
on
in
the
Rec Room
14th of
today, and to
September,
talk
which
about
was
some of
earlier
the
in the
crazy and
week.
amazing stuff that they're
And
cooking up for you
basically,
and
it's
that
the
you're going to
guys
see
at Rec
during
Room,
this and all the events. So,
looking
we're going to get
cute
started,
and
but before
legless as
that,
always,
everything you're going to see in this video
um,
was built by Rec Room
talking
creators
about
using the in-game
all
tools,
their new
including
big
this amazing menu
announcements.
that we're starting with. So, Harry,
I
come on
wouldn't
in.
mind
Let's
that
take you on a
studio,
tour.
but I would
Let's
like
go.
some legs.
The Rec Room community is growing every day. We now have over 3 million player-created rooms for you to explore. That's 3 million, Harry. Do you believe that? Whoa, that's crazy. It's crazy. And we see over 40 million room visits every month. Since we started Rec Room, we've seen about 60 million people make friends, which is just so amazing and so heartwarming. We couldn't be more
Okay, well, we'll
excited.
call that a glimpse of Rec
We've got
Room, really.
nothing
It's
but
about
time.
5 minutes
This
long,
time
but as
next
I
year,
say,
the Rec Room
just go
community
to
has
Rec
tripled in
Room's
size in that time,
channel
which is
this
just
time on
mind-blowing.
YouTube,
There's something really special
and
happening here, and
you
I
can
want to
get a
invite
bit more of
everyone
that.
to
Oh,
come
of
and check
course, you
out
can pop
the
into
Rec
Rec
Room
Room
community. The
itself
community is
and take a
already so
visit. So
incredible.
let's put that one
All of
away.
that growth.
I'm going through these quick because clearly we don't have well, that much time to play all these, unlike the old days when we went on for 5 hours playing everything. Right, and oh, where's Slack gone? It's got to be there somewhere. There we are. Right. Okay. Okay. This one's at Vimeo. Um, if you replay this, this is awkward. There's no way I can. I have to read this out. It's vimeo.com and it is slash 4578 16648, and this is AXS chat, and their guest will be familiar from another one we had a few weeks back. And what is funny about this is that 2 weeks later he doesn't seem to have changed his shirt, although I must admit he has a very nice shirt.
Hello and welcome to Access Chat. I'm delighted that we're welcoming Robert Scoble to the chat today. Robert is a technology evangelist and journalist and has
Okay, you
been
can see here at the
talking
bottom
about the
AKWYZ.
benefits and roles that
That's
new
the
technology
accounts you
may
want
be
to
got
look up
the
at
benefits and
Vimeo.
the amazing things that you're going to be
Antonio is a
able to
social
offer
media
as long
business
as technically
evangelist,
all of the engagement
and
is there.
if you look that up, you'll be able to find
Joining
this
Robert
film.
over decades ago
It's quite a long one. I think this
on
is
the
another
Tech Tour,
2.5 hours or
probably
something. Um,
those were almost 5 years ago now, right? It's
there we are. Do
amazing
you recognise that T-shirt,
what was
anybody? I
Sure.
think it's absolutely
so
gorgeous, but
when you when you look at
he
like
seems to have been
your
wearing it for all of 3 weeks. And come on, even I change my T-shirt once a week.
AirPods, right? AirPods have more compute in
But you
them
don't
than
have to
an iPhone
You take well,
14.
quite.
in a
Yeah. Anyway,
pandemic.
so I mean, I can't ever
So you
stop
can
listening to
see
Robert
that
Scoble, to be honest.
in a
So
world
this is a
right
great way to
now
get there. I should
people
start trying to get some of this Slack stuff into my Twitter
approach you
feed, so it's easy
proactively,
to
right?
read it out to you folks.
And
But that,
that's
moving it.
about to hit.
Right,
The Google Glass,
right.
in a way,
I'll move on from that. Where are we here? Right. Oh, yes. Actually, well, this is the other place I kept a copy of the future of virtual reality after the pandemic, the one that James actually did manage to show you. Um, oh, this is what I call anecdotally kind of interesting. um, this is CNN. Well, it will be. Yeah, there we are. And it's Drew Barrymore, an actress, isn't she?
Hmm.
Oh, come on, show. But she. Oh, come on! Stop fucking around. Right, she kicked off this show with her co-stars from is it Charlie Angels?
Yeah, that was a
Something.
movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've lost them again. Yeah. But the thing is, oh, Oh dear, we're going uh, where do I go? Assisting. Oh, that helps. Okay, I'm going to go back to the beginning because you you want to get this. Okay, one of her guests isn't there. She's invited one of her friends as a hologram, and they start off, and then she's gone. They they start off by saying, "Can you guess which one of us is not here?" And literally, I mean, look at that hologram. It's just like you would, you know, once it's raised. Um, oh shit! Hang on. Yeah, it's only a short. It's just the shortest eclipse, to be honest. But I mean, it so looked like the real thing. Oh, that's damn. Uh, yeah, that's the hologram. Oh, not bad, huh? Okay, okay, okay. Rabbit hole.
I
Let's
don't
get
know.
out
Is
of here.
it? I mean, is it video composition? I don't see. I'd have to look at it closely to see what's actually happening.
It'd be a multi. It would be a multi-camera scan being sent, piped into the studio, and then they rest the hologram in the studio.
Yeah.
A bit like they do on stage,
Right.
except that having her in a seat there. I mean, I imagine they can get the resolution, the whole quality a hell of a lot better than like when was it Madonna who did one where she was dancing with about 50 people.
Hmm.
Um, you know the way they better. You know it's old tech now. Actually, I mean, you know well before lockdown there were. Elvis Presley was on tour. I mean, he's long dead, of course, but they revived him from film footage as an avatar. Not as an avatar, as a hologram. And he's projected on stage, and people in the audience see the real Elvis, on stage.
Right. Again, that's
Because they,
that's an in-person experience. I mean, when you're watching a 2D screen, who knows what you're
oh
seeing?
yeah, but even on the 2D screen there, I mean that looked like what's his name, Cameron Diaz sitting there. I couldn't tell her apart from the other two real world people sitting there too.
On a 2D
Uh,
screen.
yeah, on the video. Yeah,
Right.
it was a TV program.
Yep.
Yeah. So, it's just another way of getting somebody into a New York TV studio from Los Angeles. No, you don't go fly in. We'll just bring your hologram over to have a chat. So it's the same way, I know it's hologrammy and photo based, but I mean, it's still the idea of, being able to pull somebody into a meeting and chat with them, even if it is terrible social TV. Okay, I don't play games. I really don't play games. But if there's one game I did play,
I could see that the future was open before me.
Oh yeah, I
It
saw
unfolded
this.
from the pages of a remarkable book. But my life was not set in stone by the ink on a page. I chose to travel this new path, not because it was required, but because it
So
was
will this make you get a quest,
fresh.
Mel?
well,
All
that is
this
what is so funny. I mean, talk about timing, Or I was
Mm-hmm.
spending half the week
after my very
cringing at
own
the thought of Oculus Quest, and then suddenly
remarkable findings.
one of my favorite all-time experiences of what 25 years ago, I guess,
Yep.
Market reactions.
is announced for
I realized
guess what? Oculus Quest.
book would not be
Why
as
can't it be
impressive
available in something else or
as
even on
2000
2D?
star-expanse
But
pictures.
yeah, it does make you think. Well, maybe I'll spend a few hundred quid on an Oculus Quest and however much this costs, and re-enjoy a bit of the past. Apparently, all this stuff is new. I mean, it's the same island, same sort of thing, but they've reworked a whole load of everything, more puzzles and stuff like
Yeah, to
that.
work in VR, right?
Yeah. So I thought folks would like to have a look at that. Um,
That's a reason I pre-ordered as well.
oh, okay. Well, you can tell me. Yeah, I loved Mist. I really
Mm-hmm.
did. So
Mm-hmm.
what can I say, really? Um, okay, let's go. Uh, miniature Slack up here. That was the official trailer there. Okay, there's been another edition of the show. It's called Deep Down Divers,
Oh yeah.
and this is show number 7. They're looking at crypto roundtable discussion,
Would you, Mel?
Somnium
We need that.
space.
We need that one put at the beginning of our show. This program was filmed entirely inside of a virtual world. I'll put that into a new
Yeah,
opening.
actually, yeah,
Right.
maybe. Anyway, you'll recognise the studio. It's still got that animation on the wall. Deep down, it's very loud. There's graphics on this. You
So,
can
hello and
probably can
welcome
tell
to
it's
this
American.
special episode of the
Um,
Deep Down Divers VR show. Today we have a crypto roundtable.
this was
So
interesting
let's talk
because they
about it. We
basically
got
created a Zoom
roundtable
call
with
on the
other guests,
screen.
and we have
So they,
some
instead of having a
guests
guest
with us
in a
in our
seat,
show today.
he's
And
interviewing them all on the Zoom
I
screen
will
that is
not
all in
introduce them
world.
myself because I will never do it fast
So
Yeah. Are
it's
they using
enough. I will
spatial? Do you know?
introduce myself. So, guys, thank you for coming and for being here
oh,
today. Absolutely honored and excited to chat with you about all
deep
things
down.
crypto.
Well, they're
And
in
let's
Somnium
start from the
space.
Yeah.
top.
That's the
So,
platform
we
they're
start
in.
left with Maddie,
Um,
and we let everyone introduce themselves.
Whether
Of course,
I
Maddie,
presume
where
that
can
is
we find
Zoom
you and stuff. So, Maddie.
Right.
on the screen, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Hey
know for
guys,
sure.
thanks for having me. My name is Maddie. I
All
run
right.
ACL
But
Global.
it's great.
Started
After all our
investing
years
in
of having
this community
conferences and
business
stuff, and do
space,
stuff online, everything
working crypto
from
land,
like video
the
type
whole
to
virtual
virtual
world,
world type,
and all this
it's just
amazing
amazing
world
now
of
to see that
NFTs and
you
how
can
crypto
mesh
fits
this all
this. So now I'll
together.
just blog about the space and
The Somnium
maybe
Space is not,
communicate
to
and
my
bridge
mind,
that
the
gap with
greatest
the people that we
platform.
have on the
Though I'm
show, or
planning
at
to do
least
an
I love
interview
talking
with
to
the
people. And yeah, excited to
Tycho
see what
chap
we
there
can.
who runs it.
Absolutely
Um,
fantastic. And yeah,
and Zoom
Maddie
is really just
knows
video.
a lot of interesting stuff
But
about NFTs.
just the idea that it's now so
Really
easy and
cool. That was
commonplace, well,
about
not commonplace, but it's
what
just
happened
so easy
recently.
to
I
actually
liked your
set things
review
up like
and just
this.
did about 24-hour
I suspect before
rundown of what
the
happened in
COVID and the
NFTs. That's pretty
lockdowns,
cool.
maybe people
So
wouldn't
yeah,
have,
thanks for being here today. And
it's not these things
Zuzu,
couldn't be done, it's just there wasn't the
yep,
impetus to
Cobalt
think of them.
Bell, co-founder at MoCA, Museum of Crypto Art in San Diego.
Anyway, this is an hour and a half, this
Blockchain
program, so as you
investor,
can imagine,
NFT.
I'm not going to I'm not going to leave it playing there when we should be getting ourselves off the air very shortly anyway. Um, just double checking. I think there's two more things I have here to come. Oh yeah, the future is faster than you think. This is actually Peter Diamandis talking at the Burning Man conference. Now he was talking on video,
And
so
he is a burner, and he's taking time out
he's
of
not
his
an
busy
avatar.
schedule to share with us some really cool, exciting things about the future. Peter, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome, Robert, and welcome to Burning Man 2020. Actually, I think I have my mom watching, so it's nice to have my mom join Burning Man as well. But
Okay, if
it's a
you
pleasure,
may well know
and
Peter,
anybody out there
it's very
on the
interesting.
chat,
Very a lot of talk about the singularity and
but
stuff like
please
that,
enjoy
and what does the future look like for
what this
food, healthcare,
community
education.
has
Fairly
to offer.
tangential to the metaverse, but not
Groups that
totally,
run
if you see
this
what I mean.
facility.
This is
So
YouTube
I'd
again,
like
and
to
the
actually
this is his own
skip a
account.
little
It's
bit
Peter
and get into
H.
Q&A, which
Dot
is the most fun.
Diamandis,
And
D
I'll
I
ask a
A
question
M
of
A
whatever
N D
relates to
I
crypto
S,
to
and
what's going on with
yeah.
COVID-19.
Oh, I probably am
Okay,
subscribed on the
let's
other
talk about
machine.
notions of
Right.
world
Yep. So
governance
another
and
good one
nations.
there,
So
if you will.
and
And finally. Oh God. Okay. This one's pretty, so I'll play it, but I can't play all of them. I realised I've tagged too many this week. Um, this is introducing a program of Dr. Michael M.
Hi, Michael
Crow.
Crow, President, Arizona State University. This is an exciting day. Dreamscape Immersive, a group of
He's from Arizona University, if you didn't hear that, and he's introducing a Dreamscape Learning program, which is nice looking.
fantastic intellects and creators and artists and dreamers and storytellers from Hollywood and Arizona State University, the nation's most innovative university, are coming together to launch a new thing called Dreamscape Learn. Dreamscape Learn basically is this: we're going to take education into the 21st century. We're going to create environments in which you become a completely immersive learner inside a completely virtual reality learning space, like the one that you see in the slide, wherein you as a student become the actual scientist. I just circled you inside the scientific pod. This is an example of what we do. You will be in this pod. You'll move forward into what's called an alien zoo. You'll be doing biology, evolutionary biology, field biology, natural systems analysis, all as a scientist, working with other explorers in a completely virtual environment. Now, hopefully, I have your attention because the attention really is we think there's new ways to teach. We think there's new ways to create learning environments. We think there's new ways to make things happen where we can greatly enhance the learning outcomes of all students.
Okay. There's only 9 minutes or so left of that, but I love the picture behind him. You know, that's of the world he's talking about, and it just looks great. It just looks great. I don't know why. They're very unreal things mixed with real things, and yeah, rather nice, especially if it's something educational. Right, two more to go here very quickly. The first one is I just need to give it to you fairly quickly because it's quite long. It's the Week in XR podcast. And here we go. This is a 30-minute recap of the Week in XR. This is Charlie Fink and somebody called Dej. Well, Sarah Kurish is their guest. As you can see, this is more or less a kind of Zoom kind of thing. It's obviously a Zoom sort of call, but they're looking at everything from the week in XR. You'll find this at This Week in XR podcast, if you can see there where I'm moving my mouse. And yeah, it's This Week in XR. It will be whatever the most recent one is, a bit like our show, once a week, and it's top of the list when you go there. Okay, and finally, and this really is the final one, and I'm going to play it all because I think it's only about 2 minutes, and it's just so sweet. This is about Tribe Mix virtual reality for dementia care, and just listening to.
All right, try and come in it and we'll do your arch, Brian.
Oh, look at it.
Yeah. Lean your head forwards.
Oh,
You see where you are?
yes, I can.
Where are you?
I'm at the sea.
That's it.
Oh,
Bring your head around, Mary.
oh. You see? Oh, my.
This is so
Oh,
sweet.
Yeah, it
my.
is.
Oh, dear. Oh, I do like to be beside the sea. I do like to be along the whole boat, and the whole go. And the seaside, and I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see. Beautiful. Oh, look at it. You wouldn't believe this was there, would you? If you didn't come here to see it, you would never
I like the way
know
she says,
that
"If you didn't come here to
it
see
was
it,"
You're
as
right.
if it's so real that you know.
Yep.
oh, it's true.
She's there.
Yeah, exactly.
Look
Already.
at that. No more.
So how was that then?
Gorgeous.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
And a very peaceful one. I felt I was there.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, really nice. And I feel revived. And I still feel that now. do a lot of meditation. So, you know, tonight when I go to bed, I will
Very relaxing, but naturally sleep. Sleep be too bad.
How was that?
Is that good? Very good, yes. How did it make you feel? Yeah?
I can see fun. I can see trees there. I think it's trees there. And of course, our big tree up there. I can hear the sea. Oh, that was magic.
Yeah?
Pure magic.
Oh, that's great.
I really enjoyed it.
Oh,
I felt like floating away there in the sea.
oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it really took me home.
Oh, that's lovely. That's really
Yeah,
nice.
it was. That was magic. How did you do it? It's really fantastic. Yeah, magic.
That's great.
I feel quite. Oh, you start weeping.
You don't.
Not bad.
No, it's not.
Thank you so much. You know, I did a lot of dance today.
Oh,
I feel like a big I really do.
Okay, so YouTube and the site you want is Tribe Mix, Tribemix, which is a company sort of doing that. There's more coming up too, but we're not going to hang around for it. I thought I'd end on those. That's just so lovely, proving that there's no age limitation on this technology.
Right.
Possibly it might be rejected by teenagers and things who got more into. Well, actually, now they're in lockdown, they probably haven't got anything more interesting to do. But no, that's like the end of life experience enhanced with VR. Wonderful stuff. Like quite that really moving. That is. Okay, well, believe it or not, we are at the end of the show. I've showed you everything I'm going to for this week anyway. James, any thoughts on that mammoth?
Yeah, well, the first thought is I just wondered if you had a chance to see my T-shirt.
Oh, well, no, I'm looking at the. I've got my back to you
Yeah.
because actually, oh yes, I did see this at some point. I
Oh,
remember
okay.
I
All right.
turned around. Yeah, these animation t-shirts are
Yeah, yeah.
becoming quite a thing, aren't they?
So yeah, this was free, and I'll just put up on screen. This is from Daisy Winthorpe's store at Sansar,
Oh,
and so quite a fun shirt with the animation and the graphics. I believe that's some kind of a Pokemon in outline, but anyway,
uh,
I thought that was great fun.
let me see. Daisy Winthorpe. Yeah. Oh, she's gone now. Oddly enough, before we came on air, she's on my friends list, so I saw
Oh,
her log
okay. All
in.
right. Right.
But she's logged out at some point during the show.
Yeah. And
Yeah. I went to visit a few shops today in Sansar. Actually, I
okay. Yep.
picked up some furniture and stuff.
All
But
right. Yeah, and then another thought, just thinking about Facebook as a business, diving into this area, and I certainly understand the problems that they have, but I also think about things like Netflix has their exclusive content, and Amazon has their exclusive content, and in order to watch that content, you have to be a member of that account, and so in some ways, I
uh,
see there's a little similarity going on.
yeah,
You know.
no, I can't agree more.
Yeah.
I've forgotten that because it's not VR as such. But no, you're right. I mean, you know, to to get to go through things that way.
Mm.
Yeah, you need an Amazon account, you need a Hulu account, you need a Disney Plus account, you need I think it's Paramount Plus account. Now
Yeah. Yep.
they're all kind of trying to find walled gardens. You'd never, you know, the idea the only one I pay for is audio, it's Spotify. And every album ever recorded seems to be there. I just couldn't want anything more than is what is on Spotify.
Mhm.
It's not as though there's other competing services that are offering things I can't find. I've got a huge CD and even cassette tape collection here, and so rather than get them out off the shelf and play them, I usually look them up on Spotify going back 40, 50 years. They're all there.
Yeah.
I can't want for anything more. But there is nothing like that, for, as you say, for films or indeed music concerts, video concerts. Um, there's Quello for concerts and things, but but they don't actually have that much on offer.
Yeah.
Um, I do totally agree. I mean, it would be nice if, Netflix was a subscription cinema. And, I mean, admittedly, in the real world, the cinema can only show one film on one screen at least per week or whatever. So you wait and it's touch and go whether your local cinema will ever have that art house movie you want to see, and the
Right.
chances are no, it won't. But I think it comes down to cost. If I imagine that to get listen to all the music I wanted, I had to be paying £10 a month to Spotify and £10 a month to Apple Music and £10 a month to Amazon Music. You know, that would be £30 a month, and I don't actually listen to that much streaming music. I tend to listen to radio on air and things.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be paying that. I only do it with Spotify because I know it's just a regular payment for something that's always going to be there until my ISP drops at least. When Spotify goes down, I mean, it's annoying, but the thing that it makes me think of is I am so glad I don't have a smart lock on my front door.
Oh.
Where there's an outage and people get stuck there outside. They can't get into their own
No.
houses because the
Okay.
smart lock has gone offline. Anything run by Amazon is like that, and the most of the Google ones are like that. If you lose internet connectivity, it's smart toys in your home don't work.
Mm.
I mean, I've got my Google Assistant, I've got my Amazon Assistant, I've got Siri, I've got um, lights that are direct. They don't, but they all go online.
Make sure your devices like Star Trek have manual override. We'll have to go into manual override.
Yeah,
At least
but you
my
can't
keys
even
do
you
that.
can't
Right, right.
you can't even go into manual override if the internet's down because it won't take the command.
Well, my manual override on my lock is a key in my pocket.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, but apparently there are locks that don't have that
Yeah,
because of
I've
the
seen
story.
those. Yeah.
There was a big outage in one part of the country, a
Yep.
power outage. I think during the last week or so. And God, the reports coming in of people that couldn't get into their houses and stuff wasn't everybody, but it was a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Because they've been sold on the smart thing. I get it too. I get really annoyed if there's an internet hiccup, not because I can wait 5 minutes whilst they sort out the line, but I get bloody annoyed that I can't tell Alexa to put the lights on
Yeah.
while I'm waiting.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I haven't got that. It's all dark in here at the moment, except for my screens. Now, if I suddenly had an internet outage, then I would want to go over there and sit down with maybe the TV, and which fortunately isn't doesn't need to be online, and put the lights on. But I wouldn't be able to put the lights on because Madam A would be offline. And it's
Yep.
just
Yep.
so. And sometimes he goes
Well.
offline and then it doesn't come back. So
Right.
when you
Right.
try, she says, "I'm sorry, your device doesn't seem to be online at the moment. Please
Right.
try again later."
Yep. Well, I mean, that's the whole issue with the struggle we have with artificial intelligence is that
Mm.
you know we want these things to work, we want this convenience, but the vulnerability we have because of that is that's always going to be a compromise.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're moving into a situation where we need double facilities. Really, I mean, imagine Virgin are my ISPs, so
Yeah.
very high speed. There's actually nothing to compete with them. But if I had a parallel connection to somebody like TalkTalk or something,
Hmm.
then if one went down, it could kick to the other and then kick back to Virgin when Virgin came back up. Not that
Mm.
they're ever down that much, but you sort of see that in the future. Same with power electricity, for example. depending on one particular source,
Yeah.
like the national grid. It'd be nice if there were two inputs from two different, generator sources. So if one, if you have a backup system. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I'm still on air and I'm rabbiting already.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
We
we
are
are in
still on
there.
air, aren't we?
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, quite a lot of interesting stuff there. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
as always, I mean, we have the best, most interesting stuff on this show, don't we?
Yeah, we pretty good
How can you
stuff.
possibly go for a week without Metaworld news?
That's right.
A
That's
lot of
right.
people, a lot of
I
people
couldn't.
do, but yeah, you could.
Right.
I couldn't. Everybody else can. It seems. Who knows? Some weeks it is, some weeks it isn't.
Yep.
Um, yeah, but I might try and see. I want to build another studio based
Yeah.
on this model, and I keep forgetting we can actually put an audience in here, which might be a way of
Yeah, it could be interesting.
because especially if they're Discord users, we can they can be in the audience, and then if they get really interesting, we can patch them into the I can patch them into
Yeah.
the call kind of thing.
Are you where
Anyway, anyway,
you've picked up a laser pointer in your hand?
no.
Okay. I was just curious.
Actually, there was some message on screen about touching and dropping.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Oh,
that was it.
well, no, I didn't know I'd done anything. I was just looking at. I did notice that arm was a bit noisy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, how do I get rid of it? Oh, never mind now. Never mind now.
Never
We're on air.
mind. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, folks, that's it for this week. We will be back same time, same place again next week. Meanwhile, it is goodbye from this chap.
And goodbye from this chap.
Indeed, the two of us are saying farewell in unison. And we're fading to black, as the movies used to say,
Ah,
in unison.
right.
So we will see you next week. In the meantime, have a good week and stay safe. And don't forget to teleport.
Oh.
Or not, as the case may be.
Yep. Yep.
Indeed. That's it. That's it. Bye bye.